Financial Survival Network, helping you survive and thrive in the new economy. Go to CarrieLutz.com and sign up for 30 free micro trainings on financial survival.
This show is brought to you by Miles Franklin. They've been selling gold and silver for 22 years, and I'm a customer because when you buy, they ship. For more information, go to milesfranklin.com or call them at 800-822-8080. 1490 WGCH. This is Carrie Lutz. You're listening to the Financial Survival Network. If you're wondering who's afraid of Ron Paul and why the people who are afraid had to shut down his YouTube channel, Chris Duane has done a video and has studied the situation, has some kind of shocking insights into it. Hey, Chris, great to be back with you, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, we tend to go through fits and starts where it, we don't see each other for a while and then it comes back up and it's like old times again.
Yeah, well, we're both busy building this thing, building this platform for the truth seekers and for people. If you don't know what the hell's going on, if every day the lawlessness shocks you more and more, and if you really feel like a boat without a rudder, you got to go someplace, right, Chris?
That's right.
So where else are they going to go? I mean, there's places, there's a lot of them, but ongoing that put out as much content as you and I, who else does that?
Yeah, we're definitely an odd pair because I know you do 3 or 4 interviews a day all over the place, and you're growing your audience, and then I'm spending a lot of time creating these 10 to 15 minute videos that take 2 or 3 days to do one video. It's paying off because it's the amount of people that are starting to wake up is becoming exponential. I think both you and I are becoming a little bit more professional about what we do, and really kind of honing our skills. And I've told you in private that the information that we're talking about now, which is kind of in our offices, in our bedroom, this kind of, slow kind of work will become the most popular information when the dollar collapses, and the ideas and our ability to formulate what's really going on is going to be probably the most popular information out there when this dollar collapses. And at that point, you're going to see Carrie Lutz more popular than Justin Bieber, because the reality is that the whole world is going to change and humanity is going to be looking for answers. And it's going to be people like you and me and Max Kaiser and all these guys out there who are pounding the drums right now to a deaf audience that are going to be able to hopefully lead humanity into a much better way of life. And, that's certainly been my desire when I started this, both with the Sons of Liberty Academy, shortening the learning curve of the 5 stages of awakening, with my Don't Tread on Me site, bringing, different perspective to what's going on today. The Greatest Truths Never Told series, which now I think after 5.5 months, we're at 2.5 million views and over 11,000 subscribers. We're one of the fastest growing YouTube channels out there. And, even my Silver Shield report, my paid membership, we're building the intellectual foundation for the next paradigm. So I believe that we're planting individually seeds, and it's not just people like you and me. It's the people who are consuming this information and sharing it with their friends and taking physical action in their life. That to me is, the only thing that people should be doing right now, because it's to me, it's insane to try to build something into a failed paradigm. The consumer model is going to end. 70% of the U.S. economy is going to collapse when the dollar collapses. There is going to be massive social upheaval, and the idea of spending time building a physical building or a physical business, or working inside this paradigm that's doomed to fail. Even people who are working just to get their retirement, to get their pension, unless you're going to be retiring in the next year or 2 or maybe even 3, it's not worth it. It's not worth selling your soul to keep something going. So I don't know. That's my quick thought on what we're doing and where we're going.
Well, it ain't going to be long now, that's for sure. And the interesting thing, the way the public works is times like now, people are a bit complacent. I find from what I'm seeing on the numbers, they're just not engaged right now. But let gold or silver go up $200 or $300 an ounce, gold and silver go up 20 an ounce, and they'll be engaged like you can't believe, or watch it get slammed $50, and all of a sudden all the people who say, well, I got my gold, I got my silver, I'm not worried, all of a sudden they're worried. Well, what if I'm wrong? What if everything is going? What if we're all going to live happily ever after? And what I tell them is, this isn't a fairy tale. This is real, and you better be ready. And I told you, I don't think I talked to you since I was in Florida, but I was flying down in Florida. I saw. I sent you the email. I saw that Predator drone.
You should have taken a picture of it outside your window.
You know what it is? I was on one of these Embraer 190s, and it's an RJ, and it's a great plane, but the windows frost up at high altitude. And plus, by the time I would have gotten my camera out, it was gone. But I'm telling you, it was there as sure as I'm sitting in this seat. And that to me is just further evidence they're getting more and more desperate by the day, more and more intent on trying to control you.
The complacency I see is, I go to Zero Hedge every day, and there was an article by Eric Sprott talking about how, when the fundamentals don't make any sense, you need to re-examine the fundamentals. And, that article was up, and Zero Hedge back, a year ago. Any Eric Sprott, article that got up there, you would have 400 comments within 20 minutes. People saying silver bitches and Blythe Masters and all this other stuff. The article was up for a couple hours, and there was only like 35 comments.
Yeah, well, this is complacency.
And this is what has happened after a year of this battle that's been going on. This video that I'm working on right now is basically showing that we're in the middle of the mania phase, believe it or not. And this is where the public is physically fighting to buy physical assets, and the institutions are physically paper shorting the market. And at some point, this battle back and forth is going to blow out. And the video that I'm looking at is that there's so many things that are coming to a head that this triangle, this reverse head and shoulders, this 30-year cup and handle is all pointing towards the end of summer, and that's the exact same time that that we're supposed to hit the debt ceiling again before the election, which is not
they screwed up because Congress. That Congress can't
improve enough.
Yeah, that none of those morons in there, what is it, the 535 of them can add and subtract and use Outlook.
Or at least make a buffer.
Outlook. Yeah, well, but hey, it's easier to go get $3 billion at one time than it is to keep coming back for a trillion rather. If you go for $3 trillion, there'll be a scream, but then you got it. Instead, they say, well, we'll go for $1 trillion now, $1 trillion, and then they screw up. They can't add. They don't know what $1 trillion is. They're not sure if it's 9 zeros or 12 zeros. And this is what happens when you leave your fate to morons. And these guys are morons, and they're just driving you into debt slavery.
Well, and then on top of the debt ceiling coming up again quicker than they expected, they had hoped. I think it was 16.4 trillion. We just hit 16 trillion, I think, yesterday. So they only have a $500 billion to go in between now and September, which is insane in itself. We still haven't had a financial crisis, which as well as I do. The next financial crisis, it's going to be not hundreds of billions. It's going to be trillions of dollars that are going to have to create it out of thin air. This is also coming at the time where they're talking about QE3 possibly happening. The Eurozone still hasn't had their big blowout. Now there's talk about Spain, which is, I think, 8 times larger than the Greece problem.
And Italy, don't forget them.
Yeah, and in France, I mean, they're saying Sarkozy's gone. And all that is, all the European problems are insignificant to the amount of problems that we have in the United States. And look at Japan. Japan's like the biggest mess out of them all, with the amount of debt that they have to roll over. So this complacency that's in the physical silver market, to me, is an extremely bullish sign, because it says to me that anybody who got wiped out on the last run up is out. We've had the MF Global scandal. Those paper guys will never trust the paper markets again. The silver shorts are spending more money, getting less results, and that this trend, they can win a day or two with these paper manipulations, but the overall trend, they cannot stop. Hey. And the amount of silver that came back onto the market after the MF Global scandal is now starting to leave again. There's just so many things that are coming, and the point of all this is it's not just going to be the resumption of a bull market where it's going to, okay, now we're back on this course. I think that this is going to lead to an absolute default, a collapse, a currency crisis, a major catastrophe. Like in 2008, we had institutional problems. Now it is countries that are having problems, sovereign nation problems. These are global, world destroying problems.
Don't forget, we got most of the states are bankrupt.
Yep.
All right. We've got municipalities coming out the wazoo, and I've got a paper coming out that you'll want to take a look at. I can't get the lawyer out of me. I've tried, purges, I've tried binges, and the lawyer is just stuck there. So I wrote a paper, The Upcoming Golden Age of Municipal Bankruptcy, because if they get a person like me or you, the head of a town or a city that's broke, the first thing I do is I take it bankrupt.
Yeah.
I breach every single labor contract. I terminate all pension plans, all health insurance for retirees.
Fire everybody and say, hey, we're hiring.
I fire them and say, you're welcome to join us as an independent contractor.
Yep.
All right. And I abolish the school system. I dissolve it and I say, okay, guys, here are your vouchers. Good luck, because we did a rotten job.
See, that's the thing that's going to happen, but it's not going to happen in your hometown or my hometown. It's going to happen when, I had said that this collapse is going to bring forth the consequences that the American citizens have been, relinquished of over the past 20, 30 years. When the consequences land, people are going to be responsible for the either active or passive support for the paradigm that they've supported. The debt that we've supported, that we took on, the militaries that we've cheered on or joined, the junk food, the indoctrination of the school system, the propaganda from we supported all this, folks. If every time you're watching American Idol, you're supporting that machine. Every time you text
McDonald's, when you text for your favorite one of those contestants,
singers,
you are supporting the military industrial welfare warfare state, and you have nobody to blame but yourself. And until you wake up, this is what it is.
Take responsibility for yourself and actively stop and become the opposite consciousness on every level and become independent of that system. That's the way it's going to happen. And carry on, as well as I do in my Silver Shield report in the Ultimate Exit Strategy, I talk about how we're developing the intellectual foundation for this next paradigm, and that we're attracting thoughtful individuals who are physically taking their wealth out of this paper paradigm, physically stacking silver. And at some point, we're going to have a lot of very thoughtful, caring, independently minded, very wealthy people say, hey, let's go out and build a community together. And that's what I'm working for. I mean, I can't picture a better thing to do with my time and energy than build a sustainable community of freedom-loving individuals from me and my family. I mean, what's better than that?
Yeah. I mean, that's really what we have to look forward to. But that Ron Paul thing, so they finally pulled down his channel. And granted, there was a lot of copyright complaints against him.
Yeah.
But, this isn't my channel that they pulled down or you. This is a presidential candidate, a guy who's a congressman. He has millions of supporters.
Yeah, I don't know if he owns that channel per se, but it's definitely the most popular Ron Paul channel out there. If for those of you who don't know, it's ronpaul2008.com spelled out. It's probably the second most popular site next to Alex Jones, at least in our space, this kind of liberty-minded, gold medal, kind of conspiracy-minded world. I track about 50 YouTube channels just to see how my channel is growing. And last month we were the second fastest growing in terms of new subscribers and percentage growth, next to only Alex Jones, which has 250,000 subscribers and hundreds of millions of views. My channel, we've gone from 6,000 subscribers up to 11,000 subscribers in 50 days. So we're growing very fast, and it has to do with all the information that we're putting out. But Ron Paul is number 2 on that list. And that channel goes all the way back to, I think, March 2007. It had 125,000 subscribers, over 40 million views. And from my take on it, all the stuff that is put up there is just Ron speaking, whether it's, these phone calls that he does, or, videos of him at speeches, or, interviews of him. I mean, this is not like, one of my older YouTube channels. You go onto YouTube and swipe off a whole bunch of videos from everybody else and put it onto yours, and you create these amalgamated YouTube channels. It wasn't like that. So then when I saw that his channel was taken down, the whole channel got shut down. And for those people who are not into YouTube or the back end of it, there's a 3-strike policy with YouTube that if you infringe upon somebody's copyright, the person that feels that they're infringed upon goes to YouTube and says, hey, they stole my stuff, shut it down. And YouTube will automatically do that, like without even question. If you're the one that posted it, you have to challenge that. Mm-hmm. So there's a 3-strike policy. I had 2 on my other previous channel, and there was a video series from Dartmouth Films. It was a great video series, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. Let me swipe that and put it on my YouTube channel. And they filed 5 claims for the 5 videos that I did, and rightfully so. I mean, it's their video; they have every right to do that. But immediately shut down the whole channel, and all 450 videos that were on there gets shut down. This happens over and over again. Okay, so when I went on to Ron Paul's channel, I started doing a little bit of investigating, and I said, hey, what was the copyright infringements? Because every video that is up there will say that this video is no longer available, and the account associated with the video has been terminated due to multiple third-party notification, copyright infringement, and the claimants. Mm-hmm. And they'll say who claimed it. So when I went in there and I started looking, there was a playlist that had 200 videos from this channel. And I was expecting 1, 2, and 3 video claims against the channel. Well, I go on there, there's hundreds, and it's all on the same day. Because if there's only a 3-strike policy, and I stopped counting at 120, and all of them have claimants, including this Nina Grabiel and CNBC. So I did a little Google search on Nina, and the only video I've seen of her is that she's a Ron Paul supporter out in California. So I was like, well, that seems very odd that a Ron Paul supporter would instill hundreds of claims against the most popular Ron Paul channel. I mean, what a great way of pissing off a lot of people. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe Nina had one and CNBC's the one that did it. But either way, this is an outright attack on one of the most popular YouTube channels out there. I think it's something that we need to be paying attention to.
Yeah, well, let's keep track of it. I'm going to do some research. But the fact that 200 of them got filed in a day, and I'm sure he's not just showing random CNBC interviews, they're with him, which
he
has an automatic right. Yeah, automatic right to show. So,
and then throw on top of it, today's May 1st. Okay, so that's International Workers' Day. That's semi-socialistic, communistic.
It's a real holiday.
Wall Street was talking about it. So you kind of throw that in the mix, and your conspiracy mind starts to wonder, but. We'll see. I'm confident that this channel will come back up and that this will go away. One of the commenters said that this happened to RTTV a couple weeks ago, and that they had it fixed too. So I don't know. Interesting.
We'll see what happens, man. Yep. It's we're definitely going to follow up on this one. Anyway, we got to hit the road, but don't-tread-on.me and financialsurvivalnetwork.com. We pick up a lot of Chris's work, and if you want to hear other interviews that I've done with Chris, and there's dozens, they're all there. And we'll talk to you next week, Chris.
Sounds good, Kerry.
All right, you be well.
Okay.